So in this video, we're going to be doing the spinning animated background that we did in the MrBeast website build. Now, this can be used for a whole bunch of different options in backgrounds. So here we've got the original one that we did for the MrBeast build. And if we scroll down, you can see that we are doing different types of backgrounds. And it's a very unique effect, and I like it quite a lot. We also did stuff with the galaxies. Now, you can go and slow down this whole code as well. So this is spinning a bit fast, but it's for these ones over here, really. Over here, we have just the galaxy spinning around. But here we have two images happening over here. So you can actually make this background a bit more transparent if you want, and it's still going to work. And it can do a lot of really cool effects. So with that being slowed down, it's going to make a really, really interesting and attention grabbing type of design. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do this. Very simplified for you. All the code has been done. So it's really just copy paste and away you go. Now, for those of you who just want to have this exact template over here, there's going to be a link in the description of this video that is going to take you to this page on my website. And you can go and download the zip file that has that template. Now, inside that zip file, there's going to be the JSON file that is the template. And to put it in, it's very easy. You go into the library window, and over here on the top, you can see import templates. And you take that JSON file and you just drag it in there, and it will import the whole template for you. Now, for everyone else that wants to follow along and build this whole effect, there's going to be a link that's going to take you to the reference page on my website. And it's this page over here. Now here we just need this one CSS class name, and this is the code that we are going to copy and paste. Now here I can also show you how to slow down the effect. You can see that there is this spin background animation happening here. Now this one's at 35 seconds. So if you want to go slower, you just crank it up to say 50 seconds, 150 seconds, whatever you like. And then that will slow it down. So the reverse is true. If you want to go faster, you just drop it down from 35 to 20, 15, whatever you like. So very easy to modify as you need. Now, let's go and build this. So here in Elementor, I'm going to start off with my main container that's going to house an inner container like this. So here, I'm just going to go get that container. And then the content width can be full width at 100. Min height will be VH at 100. Then over here in Justify, I'm just going to say center and align center. So it's in the middle there. Now we can add a background to this if we want, and we might as well do so. So here I'm just going to make a background image, maybe some sort of texture. So seeing that this came from the MrBeast inspired website, I'm going to use one of their background images. It really doesn't matter. This is just for the tutorial here. So here, when I have my main container, I am going to go and put in that container that's going to house the animated background. So I put in a container in here. And for the settings of this, what I'm going to do is make it full width, maybe make it a 70%. And just put everything inside it center as well. So we're looking like that. Then what I'm going to do is under style, I'm going to give this a color. So in the MrBeast one, we used a blue. So I'm going to go and maybe put in a light blue, just like they used in MrBeast over there. And then the borders here, what I'm going to do is just round it off a bit. So maybe a 20 pixel. That should be fine like that. And maybe a border shadow, just to give it a bit more depth. And then the last thing that we really have to do for this is under layout, under additional options, the overflow of this, I'm going to set to hidden. So we got that going on. In here, I am going to go and get this image that I had there. So it doesn't really matter. You can put anything you want, really. The background is still going to work. So let me go get that image, get the image container, put it in, and that's the one that we had on the MrBeast one. So I'm just gonna have it right there. Then if you want anything else, you can put anything else. So like buttons, headings, text, it doesn't really matter. The whole point is the actual background. So if you want to text or something, let me just go get a heading quick. Can put it in there, maybe make it white so it stands out, and maybe make it a little bit bigger. So maybe like 50 pixels is fine, and then make it uppercase. So it really just stands out. Then also, while I'm here, I'm going to add maybe just a little bit of spacing here. So get a spacer, put in between, duplicate it, and put the second one on the bottom, just to give some stuff there. Now, for the image that you want to actually do the whole spinning, inside the settings of this container that we're going to animate, we have to go to style, and then we put a background overlay. Now here you can put whatever image you need to. So here I'm just going to be putting that original spinning one, but like really you can go and put this with anything. So because I have that color there, what I'm going to do is just use this background over here. So if you don't want to have a background color, it's fine. Then you can just use the animated spinning image as the background, which I'll show you just now as well. Then for the settings of this, I'm going to make sure the resolution is full, and then I can just put this a bit more transparent, so it's just a little bit visible and not too much. It's just for this particular image here, so I can highlight the background color. And that is pretty much the settings for that. So underneath, what I'm going to do is add a new container here. And this is where I'm going to house the code. You don't have to do it this way. You can put it in this container here, but I like to keep the code separate. It's totally up to you how you use the code. And then for the settings of this, I'm just going to put the gap 0, and so is the padding, so it doesn't show at the bottom of the page. Now, inside this, I'm going to get the HTML widget. So there's the HTML, and I put it in. Now, let's go and get that code. So in the reference page, we need the CSS class name. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to put it in this container here. So under advanced, CSS classes, paste. So this is the container. It's going to be animated. Then if we go and get this code right here, we copy it and we paste it into the HTML widget. Okay, so now that we've pasted this code, now you can see that the background image is gone. So to fix that quick, we just click on this container, and advanced, the Z index can be anything, can even be 0. So here I'm just going to be putting it to 1, and then you'll see the background very visible. Now, if your image doesn't go across the whole container, depending on how big it is, you can just make it bigger. So in style, background overlay, so under display size, if it's not covering the entire container, you can change this to custom, and you can set this to maybe like say 120% or 150%, whatever you need, just in case it's being cut off for whatever reason inside the container. So now if we see this in the front end, there's that whole animation going off, and you can see it's working on anything there really. It's just a background container. Okay, so we're not just limited to this effect alone. You can put whatever colors or background images. So if I wanted to say put in this red one, I can go and do that, and then I can adjust the different settings. So this background of blue is just not for me, so I'm going to take it out. And then for this actual image itself, I'm going to crank it up to 1, and I'm going to make it smaller. So here in custom, I can go and see how big I actually want this. Now, if at 100%, you can see that it's doing this particular thing where it's repeating the actual image. You can make this say like 120. So it can really just cover the entire container depending on how big it is. So yeah, you can absolutely go mad with this. Now, if I want this to be a little bit slower, I can go to the code, and like I had shown before, this 35 seconds, I can put it to maybe a 50 seconds, and you can see it being a bit more slower there. But if I really want to crank it down, I can say maybe 120 seconds, and it is slowed down dramatically. So you can totally play around. So it's literally in the code's been commented, so it's this purple thing over there, and it's this animation speed where you can actually go and change it. Nice and very simplified in this tutorial because all the hard work has been done for you.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing as well. That stuff makes a big difference to a small channel like mine. If you have any suggestions or anything, then just put a comment down below. Let me see what I can do. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.